Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sherry, and I go by Ladyfish Loot on Facebook, YouTube, and eBay. I am a full-time reseller, but I want to clear the air on something. First of all, a couple things. I was told in a couple of my previous videos, of course, I'm still learning as I'm going, but I was told that I need to be more animated and more lively, and that's just, I am a happy person, but that's just not, I can't fake that kind of stuff. And I look back on one of my most recent videos and I'm like, who the heck was that girl? I basically was yelling into the camera, hi, and welcome to my channel. That's not me. So we're just gonna take another take. This is who I am, a little more subdued. I don't have to be animated. This is not supposed to make me famous. I am doing this for myself as a video diary. Okay, I want to remember this period of my life as I age out of eBay, because I'm not doing this the rest of my life. I'll do it till I can't do it. I'm hoping for another 20 years, but who knows? So I just wanted to start over. This is who I am. So it's basically, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Sherry, and I am a full-time reseller on eBay. I go by the name of Ladyfish Loot, and I go by that name on YouTube, Facebook, and eBay. I also want to clear the air because I don't want to give the impression that when I say I'm a full-time reseller, I am not hustling every day. I am not out there trying to make a living at this. I am a retired person, and this is what I do to keep me busy. It's something I do because I love it. I've done this for 16 years. I absolutely love it. It's in my blood. There's no question about it. And but I don't want to give this impression that I'm out there grinding, as they like to say, every day, because I'm not. I'm doing this for some extra money, but I'm basically doing it to keep me busy and just something I really enjoy doing. So today's video is going to be what I sold for the month of September. And I sold 12 items. Again, that is very typical for me. I usually sell something every other day. That's a little under every other day because I did have my store closed for 1 week. I was on vacation. And there's just been some things going on this month that I have not been all that engaged with eBay, if you will. I have not been listing. I hadn't listed till a couple days ago anything for almost 2 weeks. And that's fine because that's the kind of reseller I am. I go in spurts. It's like, man, I'll be full of I don't want to swear, but I'll be full of energy and wanting to list things and get things in my store, give my store a fresh look, a fresh feel. And the sales come in more frequently, of course, and we all know that with the algorithm. So if you're not listing, you're not selling. And I understand that, and I've done this long enough to know that that's the game, and it's fine. So again, I sold 12 items, and I'm going to go through those with you right now. All right, I have my notes as I always do. I sold a total of $486.15 worth of items. You divide that by 12, and my average selling price, known as ASP, average selling price, was $40.51. I am happy with that. I sell a lot of bread and butter, as I have said in previous videos, and if I make a $15 profit, $20 profit, any kind of profit I'm happy with, because I figure, you're making money, and I've said this saying, and I say it over and over again, pennies become dollars. The actual saying is watch your pennies because they become dollars, something to that effect. And I've lived by that my whole life. I'm a very frugal person, so I've always watched my pennies, and lo and behold, they do become dollars. And that is how I look at this in reselling. Profit is profit, and even if you make $3 profit, it's more than you had. So keep that in mind. And again, I don't pretend, again, that I am this, hard, heavy-hitting reseller. I'm a retired reseller, so I feel like that's who my audience will eventually turn out to be if anybody bothers to watch my videos. I don't even know why I went on that tangent. I do that from time to time. You'll learn that. I just kind of flow off into different thoughts. So anyway, back to this. So my average selling price was $40.51. Super happy with that. My selling costs were $151.60, and that is broken out by eBay's final value fees were $67.38, and my shipping was $84.22. They also subtracted taxes, sales tax, which is $33.30. And my cost of goods for all the 12 items combined was $45.79. So again, think about that for a minute. And when you can take, so that the bottom line, you net that out, and the net was $255.46. That's an average of what, maybe $60 a week? I'm not sure. And that's before taxes, of course. But think about that for a moment, okay? You spend $45.79 and it turned into $255.46. I'm happy with that. Be happy with that. Don't compare yourself to others. Just go with the flow and enjoy this journey, because it is so much fun when you don't put pressure on yourself. Okay, so let's just get started. I think I went through all of that with you. Now, something I'm going to do different this time, and you guys can tell me if this is boring or if this is relevant information you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what my total profit per item was. So let me know. Okay, again, I usually have my pictures over here, but they're going to have to be over here today. Woo, mixing it up a little bit. Okay, the first item I sold was a vintage Walt Disney Winnie the Pooh posable vinyl rubber squeak toy figure, Japan. These are my keywords. And again, if you're new to reselling, you want to put as many words. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence, and it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be keywords that people are searching for. So put as many in there that you can that will grab the buyer, okay? This item sold for $15. It was on a best offer. And with shipping, they were all in for $24.04. My total profit, did I tell you I paid $3 for it? Maybe I did. If I didn't, there you go. My total profit on this item was $8.26. Now, I should know this because I kind of have a brain. Well, I don't have a brain for numbers, but I'm good with money, okay? I can't get this straight, and you'd think I would ask my husband, who has an incredible brain for numbers, how this works. So I always look at it as I got my $3 back, and then my total profit was $8.26. So I always feel like it should be $11.26. I don't even know why. Can you comment down below why I cannot get that straight in my brain? Because I got my money back, so I'm happy. I'm folding that $3, putting it in my pocket, and then, counting out the $8.26 in complete profit. So I don't know. I'll someday figure that out. Anyway, I don't know why we went down that path. The next item I sold was a Nika Friday the 13th Pamela Voorhees Shrine diorama base. It was a 25th anniversary, and it was vintage. This is something, if you watch any of my other videos, I had just dug this out of one of my bins in my storage unit because I have a whole nother series of destroying my death pile, and I'm slowly working down a storage unit basically full of product. And I just dug this one out, listed it, and it sold within days. So it was I had just the right buyer came along, or I had it priced too low. I don't know, but I was happy with what I sold it for. It sold, I paid $5.19 for it. It sold for $40, and the buyer was all in for $53.91. And my total profit on this item was $28.73. The next item I sold was a black mother cat with baby kittens, a mini small silhouette framed picture, vintage. I paid $2.13 for this item. It sold for $15. The buyer was all in for $22.99, and my total profit was $12.03. This next item was a Wright CIC U.S. Navy OS Operations Specialist mug, Petty Officer, second class, vintage. I picked this up at a garage sale for 10 cents. By the way, almost everything I buy is at thrift stores. So I will always assume I got it at a thrift store unless I tell you something differently, like I did with this mug. I picked this up at a garage sale for 10 cents. And it sold for $18. The buyer was all in for $29.57. And my total profit on this item was $14.42. Next item was a Louisville stoneware pottery bunny rabbit bell bowl, covered dish, leather ears. I picked this up at a antique mall and I paid $8.56 for it. It sold for $42. The buyer was all in for $62.83, and my total profit on this item was $32.77. Okay, next one is a Waylon Jennings Lonesome Ornery and Mean t-shirt, size large, Bald Eagle Outlaw. I paid $4.34 for this t-shirt. That was a little much. I usually don't want to spend any more than $3 on a t-shirt, but I spent $4.34 on this t-shirt. It sold for $19.99. Customer was all in for $29.75, and my total profit on this item was $13.88. Okay, the next one I paid, this is another one that I recently dug out of one of my storage bins. You'll see them if you watch those videos. I recently dug this out, listed it, again, sold very quickly. Now I know I priced it low, and that is because it was heavily damaged. The little squirrel had been broken off, glued back on, his little tail had been broken off, glued back on, and there were many, many chips on this item. But it was an old piece of Weller pottery, and I couldn't help myself from rescuing it off the shelf at a Goodwill. I paid $1.99 for it. It sold probably within 3 days after I listed it. Sold for $26, and the buyer was all in for $42.35, and my total profit was $22.64. The next item was a mug. It was a Walt Disney World Aristocats Marie Bose coffee mug cup, blue, pink, Disney Parks. I have an OCD brain, and for something, when I read these, it drives me crazy because I want it to be a complete sentence, but I know it doesn't have to be. So if I can get past that, you can get past that. So I paid $2.10 for this at an estate sale last summer. It was part of a very large Disney estate sale where I bought 105 items, and I paid a total of $220 for them, which dollar cost averaged out to $2.10 each. And I've sold a lot off of, it's more than tripled what I paid originally for it. It was a very good estate sale. And I got there on the last day, and they were just basically wanting the stuff gone. So they were really wheeling and dealing. Anywho, I paid $2.10. It sold for $17. Buyer was all in for $28.05, and the total profit on this item was $13.26. The next item was something that was a personal item of mine. I dug it out of my closet. It was when my husband and I went to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. We've been there a couple times, and I think this was the one from 2005, so it was definitely a vintage t-shirt. It was a long sleeve. It was really cool. Albuquerque Alien Balloon Fiesta Festival t-shirt, size large, long sleeve, vintage. It's free. There wasn't any cost for the item. It sold for $29.99. The buyer was all in for $39.80, and my total profit was $25.83. So if you remember earlier, I mentioned that I was on vacation for a week, and this sold while I was on vacation. So I just, it's another great thing about being a reseller is even though you're out having fun, I was on vacation with my sister and some girlfriends, and we're out having a ball, and you're still selling stuff. That's the beauty of being a reseller. The store was on time away, but I did allow sales, and, came home to one sale. I was happy for it. I'm always happy for a sale. The next thing I sold was a Smiling Buddha Billiken Demon Elf Face Mask Hanging Wall Plaque. Good Luck Decor. I paid $5.58 for this item, and it sold for $26 on a best offer. The buyer was all in for $38.15, and my total profit on this item was $18.63. This next item was also from the Disney estate. Paid $2.10 for it. It was a Chewy's R2-D2 Star Wars parody t-shirt, extra large. Tacos are too good. The flavor awakens Tex-Mex. Again, I paid $2.10. It sold for $19 on a best offer. The buyer was all in for $28.13, and I made a total profit of $15.12. And the last item I sold, I also bought this at an antique mall. I paid $10.70 for it. It is a Christopher Radko Angel Crescent Moon ornament, blue dress, stars, glitter, holiday. $10.70 is what I paid. It sold for $69.99. The buyer was all in for $86.58, and my total profit on this item was $47.72. So that's my sales for the month. I'm going to be releasing a video in a few days, maybe a week. I got to remember when this item sold in particular, but it is an item I sold in October of last year, and I still have not forgiven myself for it. So I'm hoping to put it out to the universe, to you guys, and I can finally let it go. It is a t-shirt. It was actually two t-shirts that I sold way undersold. And I'm a better reseller than that. At least I thought I was. Thought I did my research, but lo and behold, I really, really undersold these two t-shirts, and they were once in a blue moon sort of thing for me. So look for that video. It's probably going to come out, I'm going to say next week. I kind of want to do it around the anniversary of when they sold, and I have to look to see when that date was. So anyway, stay tuned for that hot mess. Okay, so that's going to do it for now. I really want to thank you for spending this time with me. And if you don't mind, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. It helps my channel, and I would appreciate that, as I said. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.